8 Coronation Street spoilers for next week, October 20th to 24th. Fizz gets robbed. Next week, hoping to smooth things over with Cassie, Tyrone, and Fizz agree to join her for lunch at the Bistro. As Nick helps maneuver Tyrone's wheelchair through the restaurant, Tyrone starts feeling uneasy with all the attention. Once seated, Tyrone struggles to cut his meal, and frustration quickly gets the better of him. In a burst of anger, he flings his plate to the floor, leaving Fizz completely embarrassed. As they prepare to leave, Fizz suddenly notices that her handbag is missing. When she spots a man trying to sneak out with it, she shouts in panic. Ollie, who's nearby with Dee Dee, bolts after the thief. But as Fizz is robbed before his eyes, how will Tyrone cope with being unable to help from his wheelchair? 2. Bernie and Gemma go after Naomi. At number 7, Dev continues to struggle while trying to support Asha during her recovery, but every attempt to help only seems to make things worse. When Kit lets slip that he's seen Naomi's police record and found a pattern of violent behavior, Bernie and Gemma decide it's time to teach her a lesson for attacking Asha, an assault that led to her suicide attempt. As Dev hovers over Asha, smothering her with concern, she snaps and orders him to give her space. Feeling lost, Dev heads to the Rovers and confides in Glenda, admitting that no matter how much he wants to help, he's out of his depth. By midweek, Bernie and Gemma's reckless revenge plot gathers steam. Convinced Naomi deserves payback, they decide to bait her into losing her temper at the Bistro and catch it on camera. As Gemma sits at Naomi's table, Bernie fills Toya in on their scheme. Toya is horrified, but before she can stop them, the plan's already underway. At the kebab shop, Abi is asking Dev for work when he gets a frantic call from Toya warning him about Bernie and Gemma's stunt. Dev dashes out just as Gemma begins hurling insults at Naomi. It doesn't take long before Naomi loses control, and Bernie films the chaos as the situation explodes into a fight. Kit rushes in to break it up, but could he end up arresting his own mother and sister? Later, when Nina shows Asha the video, she's mortified watching Dev publicly blame Naomi for his daughter's pain. By the end of the week, Dev tells Bernie that Asha's twin Adi has seen the clip from India and is devastated that nobody told him what really happened. Overcome with guilt, Bernie realizes their plan has only caused Asha more harm. 3. Is Lisa falling back under Becky's spell? As last week wrapped up, Betsy was sitting in a jail cell, accused of vandalizing a police car and assaulting D.I. Costello. It soon became clear that Costello had set her up to intimidate Becky, warning her to vanish again before their secret faking her death 4 years earlier came out. There's no coming back if the truth gets out, Costello warned. You need to disappear again soon. I can't keep covering for you. But Becky refused to be threatened, insisting she won't go anywhere until she convinces Lisa and Betsy to join her in Spain, even though Lisa is now engaged to Carla. Next week, Becky hands Lisa a flash drive containing proof that Betsy was framed. Fired up, Lisa storms into the station and confronts Costello, presenting the CCTV footage that clears her daughter's name. Outraged, Lisa tears into him for allowing Betsy's wrongful arrest. As their confrontation escalates, Costello admits Becky had wanted to reach out many times, but couldn't risk it while officially dead. Later, with Betsy freed, Becky takes a tense call from Costello. He tells her he's taken the blame to protect her, but now expects her to uphold their deal and leave the country within a month. Back home, Lisa and Becky share a rare, quiet moment on the sofa as things begin to thaw between them. But when Roy drops by unannounced, has he just seen something he shouldn't? 4. Betsy makes escape plans with Becky. Later in the week, Betsy gets swept up in plans for a new start in Spain. Convinced it's the perfect solution, she drags Becky out shopping for clothes and supplies. When Lisa returns to find the house overflowing with shopping bags and realizes Betsy's skipped work, she demands answers. Will they admit the truth? 5. Theo explodes at Todd. Elsewhere, Theo's controlling streak gets worse next week as he once again lashes out at Todd. After sleeping with potential client Pete out of jealousy, Theo begged Todd for forgiveness, and Todd, still clinging to hope, took him back. Gareth Pierce explains, Todd's self-improvement makes him believe others can change too, and that's what blinds him to Theo's toxicity. Next week, Theo meets Gary and Pete for a business deal, but Pete starts flirting and mocks him when rejected. Furious, Theo erupts, destroying their partnership. Soon after, financial pressure mounts when Theo receives new maintenance demands from his ex-wife Danielle. When Maria later mentions Theo's violent outburst to Todd, he's horrified to learn that Gary's business could suffer because of it. Todd then realizes Pete, the man Theo slept with, is also the same client Theo just fought with. Later, after Theo gifts Todd a new car, things go from bad to worse when Harry accidentally spills a milkshake inside it. Although Theo laughs it off in front of Sarah, his mood shifts at home. Behind closed doors, he unleashes his anger, accusing Todd of disrespecting him. After Todd has the car cleaned, he relaxes, only to accidentally scrape it while reversing. Terrified of Theo's reaction, he braces for another outburst. "It's that classic switch," says Gareth. Theo smiles in public, then explodes in private. 6. Hope might have a crush, or a problem. After the recent salon drama, Bethany is settling into her new job. At home, she tries on her Halloween costume, but decides to send it back, with Sarah suspecting it's really because of her visible stoma. Later, Bethany gives Hope a manicure, and Hope posts a photo of her new nails online, but nasty comments soon flood in, upsetting her. Then Jake unexpectedly shows interest, joking around and making Hope laugh. Could this be the start of a young romance, or something more troubling? 7. George invites Christina to move in. At Rest Easy, Christina worries that George is overworking himself. When he falls asleep at his desk, she answers the phone and tells a client he's too busy to meet. Later, Christina is devastated to learn she's being evicted. George immediately offers her a room at number 11, Todd's old space. Christina is thrilled, but Glenda warns her brother that once the new pub owners arrive, she might be the one needing a roof over her head. Will Debbie catch Abby red-handed? Abby and Carl admit they're both desperate for money. Back home, Kevin is stunned to open a letter and discover Abby has filed for divorce. Later, Debbie is in chaos at the hotel when Carl steps in to help, but she doesn't realize he's scheming behind the scenes. Carl tries to rope Dylan into stealing a car, but Dylan refuses. Abby overhears and secretly notes the registration number. At the Freshco car park, Abby spots the car and hesitates, tempted to take it for herself to solve her financial crisis. But she doesn't know Debbie has followed her and might catch her in the act. Coronation Street airs on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.